club leader, learning more about how to serve. As you know, we don't have a worksheet tonight. Your participation in the chat room will be evidence that you're grappling with the material and mastering ideas that you can use. Our professor tonight is Pastor Nestor. He's a student at Andrews as well as working at the Center for Youth Evangelism. He's an adventure father, and this is one of his favorite subjects. Glad you can be with us, Pastor Nestor.
Thank you very much for the invitation and the opportunity to share some of the experience that we have accumulated through the years. And yes, absolutely. Can I start?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Thank you very much, Cheryl. Good night, good evening for everybody, or some people it's in the morning, I don't know. So let's start with some principles of what's going to happen tonight. This is the thing. Every conference in the world works different, basically. Every conference have some things that are different, some rules, policies that are different. So I cannot give you every detail and every answer to every question. But what I'm going to do is, number one, take an example. In this case, the Michigan Conference, which is the conference where we are right now. Number two, share with you general principles that will be appreciated by every church board, every pastor, and every conference. And with those principles, you will be fine. Let me tell you, you will be fine. So let me start thinking a little bit with you. Imagine that you are, I guess many of you are married, and imagine your wife or your husband, out of the sudden, they make an expense, they pay for something, they buy something that was not in the budget for your home for that month, and they didn't share that information with you. You just discover, reading the bank account report, that there is an expense there and was not part of the plans, and it is not a minor expense. How do you feel about that? Well, basically, it's the same situation with the church and club ministries. Communication is the first and most important principle that you have to keep in mind for the local church board and for the conference also, and everything in between, including, of course, the area coordinators that are the ones that connect the conference with the local church. So communication is very important. As you don't like surprises like this that I mentioned, you know, like this extra purchase that nobody knows. They don't want surprises. The local church is there just to protect you, to support you. But if they don't know, they cannot do that. And if they discover that you are doing some things from a different source that is not you, that's not good. So I will talk a little bit more about that, but that's a very important principle that you have to keep in mind. So I will share my presentation with you guys, and this is Pathfinder Director. My name is Nestor Osman. Dealing with the conference, local church board, and congregation. This is the official title. I will change it for working, okay? We are part of the same team. We are stronger together. Pastor Ron Whitehead, my boss, he likes to say that. We are stronger together. So we are in the same boat. We have the same mission. And yes, we should work together and not against each other and not deal with each other. 1 Corinthians 12, 13 to 19. I will not read everything, but it says, and it's well known for all of you, for in fact the body is not one member, but many. So let me go at the end. And if they were all one member, where will be the body be? The church is like that. We need each other. Historically, there is a complaint from the church, the local churches saying, oh, the Pathfinders, they are doing their stuff and they don't mix with us, they don't help us. And then you go to the Pathfinder side and they will say, oh, the church will not support our projects in the church board, or something happened there and they don't like us because we are, you know, happy people or something like that. So, and it don't supposed to be like that. It don't supposed to be like that. The idea is to work together. So I will start quickly with, we don't have a worksheet tonight, but I will start with a quick and interesting, he shared the screen, I'm sharing the screen, with a quick and interesting quiz for you. So what you are going to do is take the chat and you will put 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the names or last name of the people in those numbers. Yes, I will show you 4 faces now, and you have to put 1, 2, 3. They are leaders, okay? And one of the steps that you had to learn or use to approach the conference or the union or the division is to know your leaders. So you had to be familiar with them. Ready? Okay, go. What happened now? There you go. So please tell me in the chat, who are these people? Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. These are leaders, and I would like to know who are they. The chat, is the chat available? Am I okay? Wait a minute. I'm sharing. Wait a minute. I don't see the chat. Oh, there is the chat. Okay. There we go. Just try to make in one sentence, make everything. So number 1 is Armando Miranda. That's right, which is NAD Master Guide Coordinator. No, he is a Pathfinder coordinator or director for NAD. Number 3, Ron Whitehead. That's correct. He is Lake Union Youth Director and the director for the International Camporee. Number 4, yes, correct. Number 4 is Craig Harris, Pastor Craig Harris, which is the Michigan Conference Pathfinder Coordinator. That's correct. And number 2, somebody discovered, very, very good. Number 2 is the President of France. And exactly, that's why you don't know him. You don't know him. He's Mr. Macron, President of France. And I put it there, you know, to see if you are awake and if you know your leaders. But imagine that he is the, you know, we have been doing some surveys, and many young people, they don't know their leaders. They don't know the conference leader. They just know the local church leader. And thank you for the answers. This is the end of this quiz. Pastor Miranda is the NAD Pathfinder Coordinator. Number 2 is the President of France. Number 3 is Ron Whitehead, Pastor Ron Whitehead, Director for the CYE, for the Center for Youth Evangelism. And number 4 is Pastor Craig Harris, Pathfinder Director for Michigan Conference, and also coordinating some of the activities for Lake Union, okay? Leader of France, like Trump, yeah, basically is the president. Let me keep going. What is a conference, and what should be your connection with them? Basically, the conference provides events. What kind of events? The conference will be the one providing staff training, like this one, for example. This is part of Toolbox, which is like a ministry organized or supported by Lake Union. We also we also support NAD and General Conference, but basically the organization is at your service, providing this staff training. Then you have the Camporee, the famous Camporee. Every year you will have a local Camporee, a conference Camporee, sometimes Union Camporee, and every 5 years, the international Camporee. That happens in every division. So it is a good principle. We'll see what happens right now. Some conferences and unions are having virtual Camporees, which is a new reality, a new normal. So we'll see what happens in the future. TLT Squared, this is the name for an event for TLTs here in Michigan Conference, which is basically a training weekend. Teen Snow Outing, another event. We have snow here, so there is an event for teens. Pathfinder Fair, I think many conferences have this. Camporee and Pathfinder Fair, both are in the extremes of the year, at the end and the beginning. So those are two events that are part of the calendar that you had to consider. Every conference will have extra activities. Then you have, summer camps, different activities. But these are more or less the main ones that you will have in many conferences. The Camporee, the staff training, and here in North American Division, the Pathfinder Fair. Conference events, there is always a website. In some places, the website is very good. You have to check, for example, the Texas Conference website, that's very good. Some others, the website needs more love, more work, but the information is also there. Some youth directors prefer to send a newsletter instead of the website, or use a Facebook page or any other social network to share information. So the conference events, Leadership, Camporee, TLT Squared, this is the website of the Michigan Conference, Teen Snow Outing and Fair, the Pathfinder Fair. And you have more information there. You have the registration process and everything. So you have to get familiar with the website. If you've never been in a conference website of your conference, this is the opportunity. As a director, you must connect with the conference. Report and forms. This is very important. Club registration. You cannot have a Pathfinder Club, Adventure Club, or Master Guide Club if you don't present a form and report to the conferences. They are the ones that will allow you. But first, let me say something. First, you need the approval from the local church, the church board. And I will talk a little bit more about that later. Okay? But you need the authorization from the local church, and you need the authorization from the conference. By authorization is, again, they would like to know. They are there at your service. So they would like to know to include you in the list of emails with the last information, include you in the invitation for events, in the, you will need the conference, for example, to get the code to buy investiture material from Advancers. That's another thing that you need the conference for. That's why they had to know you. If your club is not registered, if you don't exist as a club, as a director, they will not help you, not because they don't want, but because they don't know you. So that's why it's very important, the communication. Staff registration, this is part of the process. Back in the time, you will be the director, and that was enough. But today, every staff member needs to be registered and needs to go through, included the director, needs to go through a background check. Sterling is the name. I don't know. Every place is different. If you are in Canada, it's different. If you are in a different division, it's different. So ask your conference, what is the screening, what is the background check that every staff needs to go through. This is also, this applies for every adult that is working with minors, yes, in the church in general, especially in Pathfinders, Adventurers, and Master Guides. So staff registration, go through the conference. The conference usually will have an account in the background check system, so they will provide you with that account. Event registration, if they don't know you, you cannot register for an event. So that's also important. Again, every conference is different, and some of them will have an extra form or an extra requirement, but in general, all of them want to know, and you have to go through them for event registrations. And when I say through them, I'm sorry that I'm adding more information, but every time I think is something that comes to my mind. When I say conference, I'm not talking just about the conference youth director or Pathfinder director. I'm talking about the area coordinators. They are the conference. They work for the Pathfinder director for the conference. And sometimes, you know, in some cases, in some conferences, the Pathfinder coordinator or director for the conference will grant some authority to the area coordinators for them to take decisions, you know, in investitures and things like that, where they cannot participate. They will send the area coordinators, and that's a conference also. That's super valid. Talk with your conference youth director about it and your area coordinators, but that's how many conferences work. Monthly reports. By the way, soon you will receive very good news about this. I cannot tell you more, but there is something coming and that will make all this much easier. So pray about it and wait for it, because it is coming. I cannot say more, sorry. Event reports. So if you participate in events, you will need to send reports for that. Quick start guide. This is in the Michigan Conference website. Start a club, Michigan staff manual, volunteers. Some conferences, as I said before, have their own policies, in this case for the staff. And so you have to be familiar with that particular manual. Michigan Youth Calendar, Area Coordinator Directory, so you will know who is who in your area, so you can contact the area coordinator, which are at your service also. Very important to connect with them and also to invite them. What is the connection? You have an investiture, for example. Well, probably most of the conference will require to have a conference delegate or representative in your investiture to approve the investiture. Well, you have only one Pathfinder director in the conference, and usually the investitures are all in the same season. So what you are going to have is basically an area coordinator that will work with you. So you can set a date that will work for them, but also with the other clubs in the area. So communication, very important. Uniform policy, AYMT. Yes, we are doing an AYMT right now. Training and Pathfinder Zone. Inspection and investiture. As I mentioned before, you have to register as soon as possible. Why is that? Because first come, first serve. If you did your homework and you planned the year ahead of time, so you early in the year you have the date for your investiture, you can invite first the Pathfinder director for the conference, and he or she might be able to attend your meeting because you asked them first. So more organized, It's better for you. That's why planning is so important for your investiture, for the Camporee, for Oshkosh, and for everything. Read the conference provided material to prepare for these events. Some conferences will require some procedures, on how to buy the material, for example, or how to make the ceremony of the investiture, or induction also. So please communicate with them. They will provide that information. Finally, I have the conference website here, which is from Michigan. You have to be familiar with your conference. So special note number 1. I know there are many questions here, and perhaps I can make a pause. Canada says a police background check. Let me pause for a second and answer some questions. Registration for Pathfinder event if he or she are in the club for years. It doesn't matter if you are forever in a Pathfinder club, you have to register as the conference, but I believe it will be every year. It depends on the conference. Let me tell you why. There are some clubs that will open, and this is sad to say, but it's true, will open the year before Oshkosh, and they will close right after Oshkosh. And like that, different situations in life, a director that has been there forever can change, can move, can, close. Clubs sometimes close, some others open. So that's why it's important to keep updated that information with the conference. Canada, a police background check. That's right. Quiz answer, or kind of, we're done with that. What do you do in a monthly report? That's up to your conference. You have to ask them, what do you need me to report? Some conferences will ask you a lot of information. Some others will be fine with a couple of numbers. So communication is key here. What about a conference official? Conference official, it depends on the conference, but it is okay. It should be okay. But again, it's club ministries and it's a specific area. If the youth director or the Pathfinder director says, oh, the president of the conference will go in my place, that's perfect. Welcome and join us, and please give them a little part or something for them to pray or to share something if they want. If not, they can sit down and enjoy. Sometimes they are parents and they would like to enjoy the ceremony like any other parent, but take the opportunity and invite them for them. If they say no, it's okay. They are welcome anyway, but because the presence is more like an authorization than to guide or to lead the event. They don't have to lead the event. They can be part of the event or they can just attend the event, but usually you should invite them to be part of the event somehow, and so they can interact and participate and share a message. What about, was the form given out to fill out? No, there is no worksheet tonight. Pathfinder director, children in our club. No worksheet this evening. We have to register every staff each year with the conference and get church board approval. That's true in some conferences. Some other conferences will go with the 2 years that you will have with the background check, the validity of 2 years of the background check. It depends on the background check also. But again, communication with your conference. I will not tell you it's this or that because every conference is different. I will just tell you what is a general idea of every situation. We have already, what about the role of national club Operation Council, National Club Operation Council. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that concept or with that council. Is that part of, if you can, McClatchy, if you can explain a little bit more, is that part of the church, or it is something that happened in your conference only or in your country only? How long is the background screening valid for? I'm not 100% sure. I do it every 2 years. Every other year, sorry. Every other year. For Oshkosh, you had to do it again. Was there any worship? No, there is no worship tonight, but we have something much more important at the end. So stay with us, please. 3 years, says Watson, the validity for the background check. What happens if someone wants to help but doesn't pass the background check? Well, that's a situation that you had to present to the conference and they had to tell you what to do. Again, every conference is different and every case is different. But if the person doesn't pass the background check, there is a reason, and you had, not you, but the conference need to approve and study the case. Please show last slide. I missed it. Okay, we are done with questions, and I will, for this time, and I will keep going a little bit more. The previous slide was conference website. Michigan Seventh-day Adventist Youth.org/Pathfinder. This is just one example. Special note number 1, area coordinator is equal to conference. This is what I mentioned before. You have to see the area coordinator as the conference. They are the representative of the conference in absence of the Pathfinder director or an official designated by the Pathfinder director of the conference. So please work with the area coordinator. You only have one Pathfinder director in the conference, which sometimes is the entire state, but you will have several area coordinators, hopefully, that will be closer to you, to your club, and they will be there, you know, for the first day of the Pathfinder meetings. They will be there for most of your events, the ceremonies, etc. If you invite them and work with them closely, keep them informed. That's very important. Communication, conference, area coordinators, and church board. Now let's go with the local church, the church board. The church board, number 1, needs to know about the existence of the club, please. Okay? You dream with a club. Let's say you are a Pathfinder leader with experience or eager to start a Pathfinder club. You are moving for life situations and you are in a new church with a club. Okay? You dream about it. And you start talking with some people, and that's perfect. But to be honest, you can put all your club, invite a lot of people to work with you and make all the plans, talk with the conference, everything, and leave the church board at the end. And that's a mistake. Because if the church board says, for example, could be a real case, said, no, we don't want Pathfinder Club here because the last time the director was this, that, and that, and this was the situation we had, and it was a huge problem for the church, so we voted not to have Pathfinders for 5 years, let's say, or something like that. You did a lot of work, you prepared a lot of stuff, but because you didn't communicate properly with the church board, which is the most important body in the local church, the most important leadership in the local church, you miss that opportunity. So you work for, I don't want to say for nothing, but communicate. you had to connect with them first. You had to talk with them, with the pastor, with the elder, all the elders, the first elder, and know about the situation. They will tell you. They will tell you, oh, this will be amazing. This is a very good idea. Let us know what do you need and how can we help you. Or they will tell you, no, you know what? You will have both always. So work with them and find out if the ones that say, no, it's not a good idea, if they have a valid reason. Otherwise, pray and keep moving. That's very important. But communication, they need to know about the existence of the club. Pathfinder calendar, they need to know about your plans. That's why it's so important, the planning and sharing that plan. So they probably will not tell you, oh, you don't need to teach that on or teach this on the other. No, they want to know, where are you going to leave the church? We are planning a potluck, and that weekend is the camporee. So how can we cannot move the camporee, so we need to move the potluck. So, work together. There is sometimes in some churches, there is the Pathfinder Club and the church, and are separated because they don't work together. And you have a Pathfinder Club with a lot of requirements to complete and not activities. And you have a church with a lot of activities and not people to work in those activities and work together, okay? So you have the kids, you have the power, the youth, and they have the activities, work together and communicate. That's very important. Budgets. If you communicate, if you do what you're supposed to do, if you are helping them, then you are part of the family of the church and of the structure of the church and of the plans of the church. That means that you will be part of the budget also. You cannot just show up at the church board to ask money, I know your camporee is very important and you're really, really, really intense and everything, but where have you been when you didn't need money? So that's why create a relationship, talk with them, share information, invite the church board for your activities. Doesn't matter if they go or not, but you have to invite them and be open for them. So they need to know, and there are some things that you can do to share and to open your club for the church board. For example, I like to do at the end of the year, when we do the investiture, for example, to have a review of the year. A short video, perhaps not very short, 5 minutes, with a lot of photos and very short videos showing what you did, showing the kids having fun, the kids doing evangelism, doing outreach, community service, connecting, praying, preaching. So in that way, they will say, whoa, because some of them never been on a Sunday in a regular meeting. So that's why it's so important for you to report, and if you can show them images and videos, that's much better. Regular reports, you don't have to come with major events. Major events need to be in the calendar at the beginning of the year. But regular reports, for minor changes or new projects on the go, you have to bring them also to the church board. To the church, so now I'm talking about everybody else, all the members of the church. Regular bulletin updates of the church. So connect with the communication system or strategy of the local church, so they are aware of what's happening, and they can help you. There are so many people that want to help their kids, their club, and they don't do it because they don't know, okay? So the church is there to support you. The church board is there to support you. The area coordinators, the conference is there to support you. But if they don't know, you will miss a valuable support. Invitation to Pathfinder events, as I said before, get individuals involved in teaching honors. You will always have a professional or a retired professional that will love to have, a audience of kids listening what he knows or she knows. So that's a good opportunity, and they will be part of your lives. So invite them to teach, and they will do it really well. Help out church members in need. That's very important. We can trust the country, but sometimes we miss our neighbor, and sometimes we need the person that is seated next to us in the church. So help out church members in need. You have that kind of activities in the curriculum for Pathfinders and Adventurers. So keep them in your prayers and in mind. And again, inform. If you are going to fail in the side of overwhelming them with information. Give them more information than what they need or they ask. Yes? So that make that mistake instead of the other mistake of missing information or failing to share all the plans that you have. Get involved with local church social activities. This is also important. Bring your club to the church. Yes, it's not only, the club, everybody's invited, the club, come, join us, the club. No, it's a church, and you will have sometimes kids that are not Adventists, families of those kids that are not Adventists, or they don't participate in the church. Well, that's the opportunity. The first invitation, of course, will be Pathfinder Club or Adventure Club events, ceremonies at the church. But also you can invite them to other social events or special programs of the church, so you can connect. The church will appreciate that. Okay? Create bridges. Special note number 2, local pastor. And now we are about to finish this presentation, and I will share with you 2 questions. Before I share the questions, we have to be aware of this. The local pastor is has a unique role in the church that nobody else has. Not even the first elder. The first elder will be the closest. But the local pastor has a unique role, and we should be aware of that role and use it to support the club. What's the problem? When we don't communicate with the local pastor, when we don't involve him or her in our activities, it is like, he is very busy, so he doesn't have time for Pathfinders. Or sometimes they don't like campouts, they don't like outdoors, they don't like the smoke of the campfire, they don't like to sleep in tents, etc., etc., etc. Doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that you cannot involve the pastor to your activities. So basically what I'm going to ask you now, and this is the worksheet if you want for this presentation, there is no worksheet, but these 2 questions. I would like to think in your pastor, in your local pastor, and in general, tell me answer these 2 questions. What can your local pastor do to support your club with his or her unique role? Again, what can your local pastor do to support your club with his or her unique role? Number 1. And number 2, what extra mile, which is not included in question number 1, what extra mile would you like to see from your local pastor? Please, people, take your time. I'm not rushing, and this doesn't need to be a 2 words answer. You can write a little bit more. The only thing that I will ask you is to write everything in one square, not one sentence, but in one square. Yeah, I'm saying right. So you keep it together. You put 1 and give me your answer, and you keep 2 and give me your answer. What I'm doing, and let me tell you, every time I teach this, I'm asking the same things to the directors and future directors. What I'm doing is share this with the pastors, basically. So every time I had to present to the pastors what is the value and what the directors expect from them, this information, what you are about to write, is what I'm presenting. So please think, what can your local pastor do to support your club with his or her unique role? Number 1. And number 2, what extra mile would you like to see from your local pastor? I'm doing kind of a survey with all this information putting together, and you will be surprised of how many times I see the same requests. So that's very, very important. So I give you time, and while you are writing, I will check the questions a little bit. I will not read the answers because I want you to think carefully about a potential answer. Think about it. Again, the question, what can your local pastor do to support your local club with his or her unique role? Unique role. And I say again, unique role. And also the extra mile. Let's say don't share the experience of what you have with your local pastor right now, because perhaps your local pastor is amazing, but in general, think for one local pastor that is amazing with Pathfinders, there might be others that are not very connected. So what can that local pastor do to support your local club? Okay, and what extra mile you would like to see? Now is the time, people. Imagine that you are in front of an MD class, a Master in Divinity class, with all the students right there, and you are the Pathfinder director, and you are telling them, what do you expect from them? So that's the information we are looking for here. Pastors in general are busy. Everybody's busy. You know what I learned? Everybody's busy, especially young people, until they fall in love, or out of the sudden, they have time. So I don't think it's just about busyness, it's about priorities. And again, sometimes you don't need a lot of time from them. You just need specific things that only the pastor can do. Here is someone, Linda is saying that she asked something specific to the pastor, and that's very important. The pastor sometimes will do nothing because nobody asked him or her. Very interesting what you're writing. Exactly. In the campouts. Well, the pastors that attend campouts, those are special. So take care of them. Feed them well because they are not many, you know. You are going, you are basically are in the same tune. Everybody's saying interesting things going in the same direction, related to honors, to worships, and to Bible classes. Well, if you're, you know, to be a master, guys, sad to say, is not guarantee of anything. Sometimes I would prefer a new, eager, powerful leader than a master guy that is, you know, not very excited about the project. If you have both a master guy that is excited about the project, that's a blessing. Provide encouragement from church members to support the local club. That's very important, you know, because the director, the Pathfinder director can say that, you know, invite the members to the club, but he's or she's supposed to do that. So it's nothing new. But the pastor is something different. You know, when the pastor says so, well, there's a different level of information, of communication. Okay, I don't know if somebody else is writing, but we are done with the time for today, but I think so. But let me close and review some of the things. Exactly. I would like more pastors to recognize that Pathfinder leaders invest a lot of volunteer time into their flock. This will allow the pastor to support and encourage the church to support the club. Time for support. Let me tell you some things before we continue. We finish basically because my presentation is over. This is the thing. Many times I heard from pastors, oh no, I don't have time for that. I'm too busy for Pathfinders because they believe it is children ministries, okay? This is the thing. They don't appreciate what they don't understand or they don't know. So it is your work to show the pastor, the church board, the members in general, the beauty and the effort that you are doing. Not complaining, and not, if you need to complain, you can complain, but providing solutions. I like to think in a club director like a part of the solution always, not part of the problem. So if there is a problem, Pathfinders are the solution. You have the kids, they are super motivated. Well, they are as motivated as you are. So that's why it's so important for you to have the right attitude. But if you can connect with the pastor will support the club. Why? Because the pastor, his main mission is evangelism sometimes, so, or should be. So Pathfinder Club, it is amazing. In the last Camporee, in Oshkosh, there were 1,200 baptisms, which is awesome. Bless the Lord, praise the Lord for that. So if they understand the value of Pathfinders, they will support Pathfinders. And thank you very much for all the information that you have shared here. Some of them, thank you so much, Pastor. Some of them are information we already have. Some others, let me tell you what you are missing, for example. You are missing, for example, that the pastor, if the pastor is connected with the club, they will see a value in the club at the moment of the church board for permissions, for budget, etc. I'm not saying that you have to manipulate the pastor. I'm just saying that you need to show the pastor the value of what you are doing. It is not a daycare. It's not just entertainment. It is a ministry, and it's as important and functional as any other ministry. And but you are moving perhaps more people than any other ministry in the church, because you have the kids, but you have the parents, and many parents are not Adventists. So please share with them information. Invite the pastor every time. Invite the elders, the church board every time, and connect with them, show them what you are doing, so they will know what they are supporting. Also, let me tell you the truth. If you expect the pastor to come and start the fire, some of them don't know how to start a fire. And it's okay, because they didn't study. They don't teach camping skills in the seminary here. They will know how to preach, and that's very important. But if you already have a chaplain, perhaps the pastor can support the chaplain, and the pastor can work with the families also. The pastor can teach the Bible for sure. The pastor can teach honors, and some of you mentioned that there are biblical honors, outreach honors, and he's supposed to be the expert, or he is the expert on those kind of topics. So you can invite him for that. And don't expect the pastor to be every Sunday. Some of them will be, because they are, crazy for the club, and it is amazing. But many of them will not. So don't expect for the pastor to be every Sunday, because I don't think it's going to happen. But think carefully when the pastor can be useful for you. If he doesn't need to sleep in a tent, he can come to the camp out just for Sabbath lunch or something, and share activities and time with the kids, and that's enough. And it's very good, because you don't need another counselor, you don't need another instructor, you don't need another club director. What you need is a pastor, and that's a unique role, and you have to use that role for your club. So we Well, there are different challenges for the pastors, and I will copy all these and use the information and share with the pastors. But please keep that in mind. I will close this meeting saying again what I said at the beginning. First, you need to communicate. Communication is key. Pastor, church board, elders, members of the church, area coordinators, the conference. Communication is everything. If they don't know, they cannot support you. So don't expect any support if you don't communicate. And second one, the second principle is we are stronger together. We work together here. The conference is for you. The area coordinator is for you. The church board is for you. So they just need to know what you're doing. And they will support everything you are doing if you present it properly ahead of time and with the requirements they are asking. So please keep that in mind. And I save chat. Okay, I will save this chat. Thank you very much for all your wisdom, because every line here is part of your experience, and that's very valuable. Hopefully, you will connect with this pastor and with the future pastors that you will have in your church. Make room for them, and invite them. Be intentional, because sometimes they don't know what they are missing. So if they know, they will never miss it again. Cheryl, the time is yours. Should I pray and then we?
Can I get in a little bit as well?
Absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, this topic is one very near and dear to my heart. As a former director, I felt like this is something that if I was really trained in, it would make things so much easier for me. And the fact that we have to teach our directors to have that communication with the pastor, let your pastor be a support and help to you, and have that trust with the board in letting them know every single thing that you guys are doing so that they're up to date. But one thing I do want to add, in the sense of the area coordinator side, as I've been an area coordinator for a number of years, utilize your area coordinators. Alex asked if every conference, I think to my knowledge, at least in the North American division, we should have area coordinators for every conference. It's a system that is very beneficial to the club. Once you are registered with the conference, the volunteer budget for them, for their mileage and things, kicks in, and they should be willing to connect with you. So directors, here's my thing. As a former technically still area coordinator, answer their emails. If they're checking on you, have the decency to know that they are there to help you. So answer their emails, answer their calls. They're not there just to give a yearly club inspection and make sure that you're at Camporees and stuff like that. They are there to help you and be a support. So the more you can email them, asking them questions, they'll be glad to help you. We most area coordinators, at least to my knowledge, we are the ones that love this ministry, and we want to support directors to the best of our ability. So utilize that facet, because usually no, in fact, most of the cases, their youth director is only one, or there's an associate, so they do not have the time or the capability to visit every single club in their conference. I mean, Pastor Paulo, can he visit every single club in Texas? Can Pastor Pedro visit every single club in Florida? Not going to really happen. So area coordinators, they have an area, 4 to 5, maybe even 10, but 4 to 5 churches, 2 to 3, and they can visit and they can help you out with that. So utilize them and communicate with them as well. Communicate with your church board, and that's the liaison for your conference. So if you let your area coordinator know something, their job is to pass it on to the youth director and use your experience. And communicate with other directors, learn from each other, so that you guys can, what I used to do as a director is I'll talk to other directors, and even as an area coordinator, I'll talk to other area coordinators, and, the people, not to say names or anything like that, but, when I have something that's bothering me, but I need to have the character of Christ, I will, I will come to Nestor and I'll tell him the story, and, so that we can laugh together, and he can say, man, Eric, you had Christ-like character in that you restrained yourself from saying what you wanted to say in that moment.
Or he or she can tell you, oh, that's your problem. No problem. We fix it in this way.
There you go.
This is a solution. Do this, and this, and you will be fine.
Oh, and I'm telling you, that is a lifesaver. When you find that other director, a seasoned director, I mean, if you're a new director, you just got elected, connect with a seasoned director. Find someone in your area. Area coordinators are usually former directors who have been doing this for a while. A director in your area that's been doing this for a while. Connect with them, learn from them. Oh man, will you learn? I can tell you from my experience, the reason why I connect with so many leaders is because I learn from every single one of them. I am at the table of Nestor, and this guy is a leader. So I learn from this guy all the time. That's why you guys always notice that I say how great he is, because I'm buttering him up so he can give. You see, you butter him up, you give them love, you give them support, and then they feel good, and then they give you all the secrets. The secrets come out and you learn.
Let me tell you one more secret, okay? And I will say it slow, come closer. The conference Pathfinder director, the area coordinators, and the pastors, all of them are human beings. Remember, they are human beings, just like us.
Whew. Did you guys you see that? That's why I did that, because now he was comfortable. He gave us the secret, and now you guys are blessed, and pastors, area coordinators, your pathfinders, your staff, we are all human beings. Whew. We need to continually pray so we can be better and be patient with one another. All right. I know Nestor, you said you are all set. Sister Cheryl, is there anything you want to add? Or
Thank you very much, Pastor Nestor. These were ideas that were useful for people in a variety of places. As a Pathfinder teacher, I've looked at problem resolution with both the area coordinators, the conference, and the church board. And yes, communication is so key, even before things may develop into something more serious. Communication is so key because we kind of have, as Pathfinders, we kind of have two umbrellas. One's over here with the church board, one's over here with the conference. And if one thinks the other one's taking care of it, whoops, both of them have to come together. And as Pathfinder leaders, we have to make sure both of them are coming together so both umbrellas can help us support us.
Wow. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight at AYMT. We will be back next week. I'm going to double check what we have for next week, but we want to remind you that there is no worksheet tonight, guys. There is no worksheet. So you will get the replay. I apologize for Mondays. It was taking some time and it's finally processing. So that will be sent to you. But yes, next week we are having discipline. That's PYSO 120 on Monday. And finances. That's another big one, guys. Directors, you need to keep a hold of your finances, because if you keep coming to your church board for asking for money approval, I know Oshkosh is a big one. The board, I know a lot of elders. When I was director, a lot of times the elders, one would say, what is this? This is not a bank. So be cognizant and wise with how you manage your money. And we will be teaching you how to do that next Wednesday here at Master Guide Toolbox, AYMT director, a part of Lake Union Club Ministries Academy. God bless you all. Let us pray and let us dismiss. Yes.
Can I?
Yes, you can.
Dear Father in heaven, thank you, Lord, for these leaders. Thank you for all the people that is behind them, their families, their co-leaders, the pathfinders, and their families. We, with all of them, help them to work together because it is not easy. In these times, it is not easy to be a leader for Christ, but in your name and with your power, with your authority, we are planning to do amazing things. Help us to be a miracle in the life of many families that they don't know how to raise their kids. Help us with wisdom, with intelligence that we don't have, and be with us in every ministry we are trying to work. And thank you, Lord, because you provide a church and a structure, a conference, area coordinator, pastors that are there to support us also. Be with us this night. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, everybody, dismiss. See you Monday. God bless. Have a wonderful
you.
week. All right. Bye, everybody.